talked about last class, I'm going to be holding you guys to a higher standard in terms of not really giving you a ton of guidance and letting you be a little more open-ended in how you're creating things and how you're representing things. Today is going to be the start of our first project where you're really going to be taking all of the creative freedom to show me something about yourself. Okay. We did the whole get to know me, which I appreciate. Okay. If you haven't filled that out yet, please go fill out the get to know me in the assignment. But that was the first part. But I want you to visually show me. Okay. This is your flex a little bit. Okay. So I want you to like show off your artistic skills. If you don't have artistic skills or you don't feel confident in that, show me your organizational skills. Show me what you feel your strength is and how it applies to design. Okay. I've said it many times before. You do not have to be a fantastic artist to be good at design. I want you to be able to figure out what your strength is and show it that way. Your strength might be storytelling. Okay. So take that in and try to start churning in your head right now how you're going to approach this next project. Okay. The title of our project is going to be, and you can write this on the top of your page that you have, whether it's in your sketchbook or whether it's on a piece of paper. The title of our project is going to be Life Map. Okay. So we are going to make a life map, and it's literally what it sounds like. It's a map of your life. Okay. Why do we use maps? What are maps used for? We look at maps so we can get a broader picture of what a space looks like. If I want to look at a map of the United States, I can look at the map of the United States and I can figure out where different states are in relationship to where Oregon is. I can figure out where states lie, how far away they are. Depending on the map I'm looking at, I can see where its high points are and where its low points are. Depending on the map I'm looking at, I can see where its rivers are, what its road congestion looks like, how its population looks like, right? So maps give us a broader vision of something that we're looking at. It can also tell us how to get from one place to another. Okay, back before phones and GPSs, when I first started driving, way back in the day, actually before you guys were born. Weird. I'm an old man. Okay. When I first started driving, when you'd have to go somewhere, you'd have to break out a map. And like, all right, I got to drive to Medford. Well, in Oregon, it's easy. You go I-5. But like, I can drive to Estacada. I need to break out a map. It's okay, I turn right on this street, and then I turn left on this street, and I have to write it all down. And then I go drive, and I make sure that I hit my turns correctly, or else I'd end up in, Vancouver. Now we have turn by turn on our phones, and you're all spoiled. So that's a whole nother rant. But with our maps, it will kind of tell us where we needed to go and how to get there. Okay. You are going to make a map that represents your life up to this point. Okay. You're a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, and you are a young adult, I guess I would say. And you are the person you are because of the turns that your life has made on the road to this point. So you are going to represent that visually to me and show me how your life has gotten to the point where it is right now. So here's some examples of things that we're talking about. Okay. Here is a strung out chronological order life map. Okay. People use these a ton. There's a lot of design companies that I've seen that have said, if you're applying for a job, give us your resume and turn in a life map. It's like, whoa, a life map, really? Because they want to see you visually represent who you are, what you've been doing. So it's hard to see this because of how pixelated it is. I'm just showing you the concept. Okay, it says like January 2008 over here, and then it goes all the way over here. Okay, here's a little clearer version. This is kind of more like what I'm talking about, what we'll eventually get to. Okay, here's this person, the start 2001, and then they have decided to use a string and a balloon to be the path for their life map. All right, they're literally going with a chronological line, and then along that line, they're going to have their events. A note to add to your life map. it will be in chronological order from birth to now. So if you're a note taker and want to write that down, go ahead and do that. Okay. Along with that, you will have to have text and an image for every event. So text and an image for every event. Now, we're not going to do this today. Similar to in Graphic Design 1, where we went with a word cluster, and then we moved to we took all the different steps, right? We're going to take our steps through this. So we're not going to work on this today, but this is kind of the ultimate goal. So you see, first pony ride, found and helped a bird that flew into a window, got Bobby our cat, went to Canada. Now, look at the artistic skills here, right? It's not like this is a fully detailed drawing of Bobby himself. Okay, and little cartoon drawing, little line drawing, like this is totally fine, unless you want to do something a little bit more than this. Okay, I'm not expecting something crazy. You can do stick figures if you would like, but I would like to see, you know, your highest end talents being displayed. See the years 2001, 2002, 2003, so we can make sure it's all chronological order. Here's another life map. Okay, now look at this. In the flow with Ann Leach. So look what they have here. They have kind of like a wave over here. I think this is a 2-part. No, it's not. The next one's 2-part. Here's like a wave off to the right-hand side. This is in chronological order, but it's from left to right. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have like individual dates along a solid line. They're all just kind of like jumbled together. Let's see. Teach in theater, BA, student teaching. Hell no, sorry. Performance stage manager. Okay, a publicist for a professional theater. So this went to this. Mom had cancer. Kansas City. Let's see. Smothers Brothers, etc. Best tricks. Got married. Boom. So all this information is kind of like just scattered, right? Maybe her life isn't as straight lined as a chronological order map. She's got a lot of stuff going on, so she's going to represent that in her life map. Okay. Let's see. Okay, saying hello to the future. Look at this arrow, 1989 to 1995. We have a little dashed line, and again, just a whole bunch of information. This is more text-driven than what I would like, but again, understanding the flow. Going from here, 89 to 95, then we go to 95 to 98, 99 to present. Okay? Look at the titles they did this. Leaving a Legacy. Let's see, Waking Up Alone with Me. I'm here, now what? Okay, so that's kind of how they're kind of laying out what their steps, and they think their life has been broken up into 3 real sections. If you feel that's going to be into your story and how to tell your story, then that's what we can look for, okay? So that's what we're kind of going towards with our life map eventually to build. Now, for you guys, what you're going to do for your first part of this project is you're just going to get introspective. You're going to research yourself, essentially. And what I want you to do is you're just going to go start writing down life. I don't want to necessarily say altering, but things in your life that have happened that you feel have contributed to making you who you are today. Okay? I am going to start in my life map, and I'm going to go really, really early. And I'll say, like, one of the first things that I remember that really has altered my life is staying with my grandma before school in the mornings. That kind of gave me an semblance of home and how to start your day. And that she was like my preschool teacher. Okay. And then the next event was probably like my parents getting divorced when I was 5. And then after that, I went to going to a new school and not liking it and having bad experience, and then going to another school and enjoying that school. So I'm just going to kind of try to get these things that I can remember, and yours might be pretty vivid. Mine were over a 37-year span, and yours are over a 14 to 18-year span. But trying to figure out how to make these steps, okay? I'm going to give you a minimum, but I don't want you to ever settle for the minimum. You have a minimum of 10 different events that we're going to have represented. Okay. If you can't figure out 10 in your years because you haven't really done a lot and you've been kind of the ones, but try to find 10. I got a goldfish. Goldfish died and I cried. Okay, well, that's an event that can affect you in some way, right? Maybe you haven't had a goldfish since then because you don't want to cry anymore. Or maybe you got 15 goldfish and you have, no emotion towards goldfish anymore because they all die. But try to figure out these different things. What is the purpose of this project? Number one, I feel it's super, super important. And again, this is me pushing my own ideals on you guys, so I apologize if this offends you in any way. I feel it's super important in quarantine, in this weird situation that we're in, that you guys realize who you are and that you guys find some comfort in who you are and why you are the person you are today. And with that introspective view, be able to say, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that have happened that I really wish didn't happen. And then be able to make a new life map from here on out. Or to say, man, I'm really blessed with all the phenomenal things that have happened to me in my life. I should really be thankful for everything that I have. Or vice versa, kind of go back and forth and figure out where you're coming from. Also, I'd like to just kind of know a little bit about you guys. I've had you all in class before. I've learned little things that I can joke about and that we can, have fun with and stuff like that. But again, going back to it, very few times do you really take a lot of time to think about you and why you are who you are and why you do what you do. So let's do that and see how we can make it work visually. So assignment 1, you need to make a big old list of a whole bunch of different life things, events that have happened in your life. Okay, and you can just put like a dot and note, dot and note. Try to make a big list, and then you can work it down to the ones that you want to visually use in your life map. Okay, and so what we're gonna do today, it'll be due today because we have half an hour. I think you probably do it in half an hour. But it'll be due at the end of the day. So if you can't get done now, maybe go into lunch a little bit. But I want you to write out by hand just the words, the examples of these different life events. Okay? And then later we'll talk about visualizing them. Okay? But today we're just working on writing down the events. A minimum of 10. Hopefully more, because it gives you more options to go through. Okay, questions on what I'm asking from you guys? Cool. Supposed to be fairly straightforward, so I'm hoping that it seems that way with you guys. So that's what we have for today. Pretty straightforward. Well, let's see. Do we have to include specific dates? You don't have to put specific dates if you don't want to. I would like it in order, though, because usually some things contributed to others. So if I say, like, with myself, like, getting my parents getting divorced when I was 5 is really, really funny. This is not funny, a personal story from myself. When I got married and we had our first son, Isaac, his 6th birthday was a really, really big milestone for me because my whole life, I always thought to myself, like, was it because I was 5 that my parents got divorced? Like, what was hard about being together for 5 years, for 6 years? Like, and it's just because it's subconsciously has been in my head. And I remember my son turned 6. I was like, I did it. Like, my wife and I have been together longer than my parents were. Wow, that wasn't as hard as I thought. Okay, cool. And now it's 15 years later, stuff like that. But my life map doesn't work if I have. Was able to be married with my wife for more than 6 years, and then parents got divorced when I was 5. If that makes sense. So make sure that they're in the somewhat order. Yeah, you don't need to be like April 1st. I lost my first tooth like that. I'm not worried about that stuff. Cool. Well, that's what I got, guys. Thanks so much for the crazy, weird start to the class. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day, and I will see y'all tomorrow when you check in.